Okay, well, look what we've got here. It is the new Suzuki V-Strom 1050 DE. Let's go for a spin. Oh, by the way, 0 miles. So this won't be much of a review. This is really a very first impressions type ride on a bike with 0 miles on the clock. I've just come off the Moto Guzzi V85 TT. Wow, that's a long way down. And what I've noticed is the seat height on this bike is a lot higher, and my legs are further away from the ground. Now you could reasonably say that the Moto Guzzi V85 TT and this Suzuki V-Strom are in a similar class. That is large capacity, adventure styled, off-road capable touring bikes. And certainly the old V-Strom had a reputation of really being a tourer as opposed to an off-road machine. But first impressions tells me that these bikes are actually rather different. Where's the ground? On the Moto Guzzi that I just come off, I can get the balls of my feet down comfortably, not an issue. On this one, I've got tiptoes on both feet with my 32-inch inside leg. It's not disconcerting, but I'm glad I'm on even ground while I get used to this bike. Also, unfortunately, like the Guzzi, the foot pegs just seem to be in the way of where I want to put my feet. The gearbox feels quicker and slicker than the Moto Guzzi. You might not be surprised to hear. This bike has got something like 20 more horsepower. I'm not sure about the torque, but I think something like 18 foot-pounds of torque more than the Guzzi. So it certainly does feel more pokey. Feels very smooth though. And on this model we do have a quick shifter. But I'm going to stop shortly because I believe this screen's adjustable, the front screen. I really hope I don't have to unscrew it and screw it back on again to do that.
5 minutes later.
So, it would appear that this screen is not adjustable unless you actually manually adjust it by removing the Allen bolts, lifting the screen and then bolting it back in again. And ain't nobody got time for that, so we'll just have to push on. So this is another machine that I kind of picked out of the lineup at short notice today. Thanks to Frasers of Gloucester, by the way, for the loan of the demo bike. I have ridden a V-Strom 1050 before. I'll put the link up there on the screen somewhere. So not an awful lot has changed on this V-Strom for 2023. But what has happened has been significant. So we have a move to a model now that's got a 21-inch front wheel as an option. So that makes it more dirt worthy, as they say. Certainly not lacking in grunt, this engine. Classic 1050-ish cc V-twin. Been around in many guises and isn't ready to be pensioned off just yet. Bit weird that you have to activate cruise and switch it, kind of enable the mode on the right switch gear, then to get cruise set, gotta do it on the left hand cluster. But it works. Although what I can't see, interestingly, is a target speed I'm trying to adjust the cruise control to, unless I'm being a bit blind. Don't want to spend too long looking at the instruments, but yeah, couldn't see the actual speed I was trying to set it to. Curious. Now, throttle mode. Let's have a look here. C mode is very soft, clutch is hydraulic, and not super light, but reasonably light. But I don't know, I might backtrack on that a little bit. If I was in stop-start traffic and quite a lot of it, I can imagine that pull could get a little bit aggravating after a while. Might be a little heavy for a lot of stop-start traffic. Wow, this has got a great engine. It picks up so quick, it's almost as if the clutch is slipping. I hope not. No, I don't think so. Well, in B mode here on the throttle map, can be a bit of a shunt going on and off the throttle. But I think with time, with practice, you could modulate the throttle effectively to avoid the snatchiness. Oh, I bet the road doesn't stay this good for long. So, without a doubt, even though this bike's got so few miles on the clock, the engine is a bit of a performer. Pulls strongly. And the only issue I've found so far really is as the revs start to go up a little bit, get a bit of tingling through the seat and the bars and the levers. With so few miles on the clock, you can't really make a judgment on that. Wow, this bike really does accelerate. Okay, doesn't accelerate like a super adventure might accelerate. It's certainly more than enough power to get your thrills. And what is impressive about this bike is that it's got fully adjustable suspension at both ends. I do know we have a off-road ABS which disables the rear, and I think you can turn traction control all the way off as well. So yeah, it can do off-road, although for me again, with my legs, the length they are and the height I am, 5'7", 170 centimeters, and the weight I am, which I guess is about 80 kilos fully kitted up, I don't know if I could actually call it top heavy. It has the impression of being top heavy, but that just might be down to me and my dimensions. Right, so I can report on little bumpy lane performance. And actually, suspension is kind of, as I'm being kind of rolled up and down on this undulating lane, suspension's handling that quite well. Certainly seems to steer well and handle well despite the 21-inch front wheel. Can't tell you off the top of my head what tyres we've got on. It feels pretty good in the bends on the A roads. Been spending time trying to get used to this bike, and it's basically sportier than I gave it credit for, sportier than I assumed. It feels a bit more alive and lively than the old V-Strom that I rode, the previous generation. That might be down to the skinnier, taller 21-inch front wheel. But yeah, I gotta admit, I am having some fun on it. We have Takiko, I think that's how you pronounce it, radial brakes at the front, and they're pretty powerful. I think they certainly get the front end diving for cover. Okay, so I'm heading back now to Frasers. I think I might be a little bit late, sorry James, but overall I've had a good little ride on this bike. It was just a tyre scrubbing exercise really. A bit too soon to really get a good feel for the bike, but what I will say is I've really enjoyed the way the engine works. Nice, responsive, can feel a little bit tingly and buzzy in the mid revs, but that might change with more miles going on the bike. But it is easy to ride. Gearbox is great, suspension is decent. Wind blast is an issue, and again, unfortunately the screen is not adjustable, so that takes a little, well, sorry, it is adjustable, but you just have to unbolt it and rebolt it on in a new position. Seems to handle well from what little I've found or discovered so far, and I'll have to do some digging on whether it's got connectivity through an app or not in this spec. Right, so after a couple of hours in the saddle, got to admit, oh, you have to bear in mind I did do another 2 hours in the Moto Guzzi just before this, but bum is getting a little bit numb now. I think it wished it was somewhere else. I wish I was now. Look at this traffic. So it's just for me now to say thanks for watching. I probably missed loads. I haven't had a chance to have a good look at this bike, and barely had a chance to have a decent ride, but I'm liking it. I do like it. It shows a lot of potential for me. Any questions? I'll try and answer them down below. Links to Frasers of Gloucester as well. If you want to take this bike out on a ride, you can. Just get in touch with them. James and the other guys will be happy to accommodate you. Until the next video, folks, take care. See you soon. Bye bye.